try to record a little bit more in the mornings. Do better at recording in the mornings. But usually nights are just when I'm least busy, so. Hi guys! What did I just start? I honestly did not mean to say that. But anyways, hi guys. It's been 2 weeks since I saw you last, or you saw me last. Both. And I just wanted to use this time to recap what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, because I've been busy enough. So earlier this week, me and Blue, we were in the closet over there, and we were auditioning for things just to audition, you know, like to get, because obviously this industry of voice acting is like, you can't take a day off. So I'm trying to get into the habit of like maybe doing like 5 to 10 auditions a day. Slowly, gradually getting to that many, because I do know that for me, it's not 100% realistic. So I'm just giving myself that grace to like gradually incline to that number of auditions in a day, as many as are available, and I see myself, you know, being able to do based on my standards. So and my comfortability level. So yeah, she and I did that, and did I say what I accomplished? I don't think I did. Basically, we got shortlisted for a project. And it was a nice surprise. I was like, I literally looked at my email, I'm like, oh shoot, I wasn't expecting that. Now I'm just waiting for them to the people to get back to me, which probably would require me to kind of get a little bit more acquainted with Discord, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to pay for not knowing how to use Discord. So I gotta like teach myself at some point. So yeah, that was a nice thing that happened earlier this week. What happened today, in accomplishments, was right. I got my driver's license today. First try doing that, and it was fun. It was good. Everything's fun. Everything's fun. It was nerve-wracking a little bit, but it was fun nonetheless. I mean, the results were fun to look at. Hey, I passed. The skin of my teeth. But I passed. So now all I gotta do is get a little bit better. Just stay off the roads, guys. But I have to now figure out getting a car. So we'll figure that out at some point. Back to like the audition stuff. Blue. I just wanted to like say how I feel about like using the snowball mic for voiceovers. It's not a bad microphone. Beginning, it's not a bad microphone. But I will say, if you're trying to get serious roles, like more serious, like I auditioned on Casting Call Club. I can use this on Casting Call Club. Other websites, less likely. And it's amazing to me that I got shortlisted, because when I was like editing the audio on this app I had to pay a subscription for, because this alone wasn't working, sound quality wise, I was surprised that I got shortlisted. Kind of like, I struggled to be okay with the quality of the sound even after using like the app that I had on my iPad. And I have to get a laptop soon so I can, but I'm gonna get to that. This is a really good mic for starting out. I'm about to get a different mic, a better mic, a more pro mic that I'm gonna get somebody who isn't using it is gonna loan it to give it to me. So it's a pro microphone. I'm gonna have to use that going forward, but for video purposes, when I'm recording here, Blue is always gonna be as much time as she has left with us, because I think she's fairly old. I think she's fairly old, and I don't know what the shelf life of these microphones is correct. But yeah, like, she's gonna be used for, so I'm getting that microphone tomorrow, which is cool. I have more auditions that I saved for myself to do once I get that microphone, and I'll probably do that this weekend. I also am going to do my hair this weekend and probably try to figure out some kind of protective style to do. But I'm honestly, I'm gonna probably fall back into just doing twists. I don't know if I'm gonna do a twist out for a while, because it's not time consuming at all, but it's just like, I'm tired. Like, I've been doing this the past couple weeks, and I'm just like, okay, I love having my hair out, but I feel exhausted thinking about it. But yeah, so there were the 2 main accomplishments. I'm trying to think of what else I did within the last 2 weeks. I took some tests for psych, made up a good amount of work, so that was good. Now I'm all caught up, and I'm practicing better habits so that I can do this without guilt, and more consistently, because I'm going to get consistent. That is going to happen. Not to manifest it, but it will happen, just because it will. Trying to see what I've been writing in my notes, because usually my notes will tell me exactly what I have been doing. I'm so productively unproductive. It's so funny. I think I've just been, okay. I don't know if I want to talk about this right now, but I could do that. Okay, I'll talk about this real quick, and then I'll get into the part 2 of this video, because I also wanted to try something out. I think we'll see. Wait, I think I wanted to talk about what am I talking about? What am I talking about right now? What am I gonna do? Right. Okay. So right now I'm working on, like, I'm trying to conceptualize this indie project that I had an idea for. The thoughts are churning in my mind really well, except it's not really getting anywhere. I know the message I want to portray and how I want to portray it, and the metaphors I want to use and the analogies, but I don't know how to make it seamless and story based and something that's interesting and I would actually watch. Possibly hyperfixate on. That's the kind of level of entertainment I'm looking for. So my brain is infatuated with it. I like the idea of the colors that I'm thinking of, the color scheme, because it's and all the feelings that like it's a very brainy idea. Not that it's intellectually, it is, but it isn't. It's not like it's intellectually brainy. I'm talking about it's a very like abstract idea because I can't quite articulate it just yet. So that's what I'm working on in my head, in my notes app, because my notes app is my right hand man, bro. That's my slice, bro. But yeah, so I'm trying to conceptualize that. I do kind of know what my characters. I know I drew to my characters this weekend. Last weekend I drew 2 of my characters already. I kind of know who my main characters are in a sense. I also know what I want to play on in terms of character building, characterization. I'm the type of person that likes to go very, very in depth with OCs. To the point where I neglect to play with them, if that makes sense. Like, when I feel like it's very important that you play with your OCs so that you can have a relationship with them other than just knowing them, like some kind of like therapist and case study, like having a case study. Because I had another concept for indie that I'm saving for after whatever this is becomes whatever it becomes. I'm saving that because I want that to come after I have more experience dealing with something a little bit smaller. But the OCs I drew for that one that I'm leaving on the shelf for now, I spent so much time with them, each of them, and I only, after spending so much time with them, drew them, and not even all of them. And I still don't know for sure if I'm set with how they look, but I do know I'm set with who they are. To the point where, but it's at a point that I did so much case study work as a psych major first, or like, yeah, as a psych major first. It's like I spent so much time looking inside that now outside is trivial to me, because I'm not the type of person that is like too worried with how things look. So it's like I could get bored. Like, I do like how things look. Like, I definitely love how things look. It's stimulating for me. I like looking at things that look good, right? But when you spend time with a person, even if they're not real, you spend so much time looking inside of them, you don't really care to design or see what they look like. Maybe the curiosity is there, but because they're a thought, it's like, and I'm not even like, I can draw, but it takes me a while to draw, because one, I'm a perfectionist, and two, it takes me a while to know how, like, to get the idea I have in my head out, because I'm not an artist like that, right? I don't like draw that much. I'm trying to draw more so that eventually it becomes easier for me to, do that. And I do know how to practice that, and I have been practicing, but that was more in the beginning of the year and kind of fell off. But wow, why does it smell like that? It smells like really strong paper. And lead. Like graphite. But yeah. Like, it just gets to a point where it's like, I'd much rather write who you are and just spend so much more time on that than writing a story and saying who you are. And I think my way of navigating navigating very difficult plots is by writing the characters first. Because all in all, the circumstances of a story depend on the context of the characters in that story. You can put them in like a world circumstance, like maybe there's war, maybe there's natural disaster, right? That's the thing that I know there's like some kind of term for it, but that's the like thing that the circumstance, the world circumstance they're in, right? Then you have the circumstances that are the circumstances of the story, the plot, and the message, and everything like specific in the story is determined by the characters interacting with each other in that story or with themselves in that story, which is, I think, really beautiful to think about, because experience, like, people have different experiences and different perspectives on the experience and different ways of dealing with things and how they act and behavior. And I think what taught me that was, honestly, and what got me interested in all this creative stuff lately, and actually letting my creativity be, I guess, is the Amazing Digital Circus. Because when you think about it, the characters are people. The circumstance is they're trapped. They all, based on who they are, respond to their being trapped in the circus different ways and interact with each other different ways, but also cope by themselves in different ways. I think that's what taught me that character, just writing the characters sometimes is all you need to get started. And honestly, it sort of worked for me at first. I still, I don't know how creative I am in writing. I don't know yet. I do know I have a very colorful way with words. I don't know if I can tell a good story. I definitely don't tell the best recaps of stories. I kind of go, and it's not even like I go on tangents. The main thing that happens with me is that I don't tell the story. It's never linear, ever. I think I should play on that strength of never having a linear way of like recapping something or summarizing something to someone in conversation, and just use that when I create stories like this. But in an ideal world, I would want to have a little bit more confidence writing, but I have a lot of confidence when I write people, write characters, humanize them, demonize them, whatever. When I write about somebody, it's much easier than writing about the world. Which is why I would definitely be one of those people that needs a world building app. Like, I need something, like, I need a bunch of notebooks or something where I can just like write a bunch of concepts and stuff. We'll figure that out as we'll get to that bridge we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll get to that bridge when we cross it. But yeah, so I'm excited because I actually do like this concept a lot. Based on how it looks in my head, it looks a certain way, and it's something that I could get behind visually, and it needs to stay that way throughout. Visually, very, very very I don't even know. But yeah. So yeah. Like, Gooseworks is definitely, like, a really big inspiration for me right now. Like, I think that's honestly, what so many people love about the show. I think, even though I've never heard anybody say that, sometimes it's hard to explain exactly what about it makes you resonate with the thing, with something like this good, like something that this is like this. It's an amazing show, in my opinion, but I think it's the fact that anybody could relate to it, because it's made in a way that anybody can relate to it, because it's happening to ordinary people, but it's so surreal. And it's funny how I say, you know, honestly, just put me in there, put me in the circus, right? The whole message, and I love the message. The whole thing we're supposed to get from this is, like, contentment in a stagnant life. And stagnant was one of my favorite words, which is really funny to me, because I can never be stagnant. That's not who I am. Yet I so boldly claim that I would be fine in the circus, and I would actually prefer it there. Why? Because I have fun watching them, and I get, like, warm fuzzy feelings when I watch things that the fandom creates based on them, even though that's not exactly their reality. It's just a watered down version and a romanticized version of the actual situation that they're in as people. That might be a character flaw that I have. Maybe something I need to check, because it's like, would I really be happy? And am I not aware enough to effectively forecast how I'll feel later on in like in a situation like that, hypotheticals like that, abstract ideas like that? Hey, you see what I did there? But, like, come on, like, honestly, it's a great. The show is a great concept, and it's like, would I really be happy being still? Would I be happy being alone? Kane. Could I let people be happy if that meant my sadness? Could I avoid abstraction? And when I think about that, that's the part where I'm like, no, I couldn't. I honestly couldn't, even if I was happy there for a time. I honestly would give myself, I'd give myself 2 months max. And I didn't mean to get into, like, a whole review of the show or anything. I just, because it's like, but it's just like, I can't get away from it, because that's a big part of my thought process. Like, it's honestly woven into, like, a lot of things I think about now in terms of, like, story writing and actually resonating with people when I tell a story, because it's like, what's the point in me talking if nothing's gonna come of it, or if it doesn't have any meaning? So I'm not gonna waste my time with this project if it's not gonna mean something, and it already has meaning. I just need to find how to portray it and train myself to see what it takes to write a good story without telling the full story, which is another thing that Gooseworks is very talented in. Like, yeah, like, there's so many questions. It is funny. It's like, there's so many questions and so many theories, because the whole story is not being told. We don't know anything. except a few things. So it's crazy. How that, like, and it's like, it doesn't even have to be answered. It does not have to be answered. I'm, like, I can say, okay, I don't really understand fandoms that much. I've only been a part of one other one. And this one, I don't know if I want to be. There's been a lot going on lately, I think. But, like, I only look at, like, the things that people create based off the show. And, like, there's been stuff going on, and then people are saying, like, I hate being a part of the fandom, or, like, I'm not a part of the fandom anymore. I'm like, is it that? Because I don't know, like, how fandoms work. Like, you can just, like, lose membership because of a few people. I'm just really confused. I'm not even, like, trying to be sarcastic or anything if it sounds like I am, but I'm just, like, really confused. Like, I'm a part of the fandom because I like the show. I don't associate with everybody in the fandom or certain behaviors in the fandom, but I'm still part of the fandom because I'm a fan of the show. And I also like what other people are creating, right? That being said, people get into, like, shipping wars. Guys, I want to explain something, and this will be the last thing I say, because I've been wanting to talk about TADC for a while. I've been wanting to talk about TADC for a while, and it's just, like, I never knew how to, like, bring it up, because I didn't want to just bring it up and be like, oh my gosh, I love it, oh my gosh, and not have anything, like, else to say other than that. Like, anybody can say they love something. Can you articulate it? Typically I can't, but when I get into a flow like this, I just let it go off and I just explain what I love about it as much as I can until I run out of juice. So I'm gonna try to explain where I stand in terms of the shipping stuff and how it relates back to so I ship Funny Bunny, but I don't ship it either because I don't care. I really don't care enough if they are romantic or platonic. Either way, it can be a very strong love or it can be weak. Do I care? Absolutely not, because it's like the characters themselves and how they interact is already beautifully written. Without there being so much, I feel like there's a lot of gray area in their relationship. Just if we were to look totally platonically at the relationship, there's a lot of gray area because there's been enough Funny Bunny screen time. Of course there has been. But is it enough to understand fully how and why they feel what they feel for each other? Especially if nothing has been said. I don't necessarily know if I can say anything substantial based on... I definitely don't have anything romantic. Like, I don't think it's gonna be romantic at all. Like, canonically. Nor do I think, we only have, like, one episode left. We only have an hour left of the show. But canonically, I don't think it's gonna, like, it really couldn't be. It could, but it couldn't be. Based on what Gooseworks has said about the show. I genuinely don't know if the Funny Bunny shippers are going to how they're gonna feel about the way that things turn out. That scared me, but like it also didn't, because I'm like, either way, it does scare me only because I know what that means. But I'm not a theorist. I just know how things can turn out. Oh, 57 just now. Sorry, I just saw 57. But like, I do know what that can mean. And it's definitely not going to be romantic. It's going to be platonic and something really miserable. I think. I'm like 70 to 80% sure that it's going to be something terrible. Especially given all the theories that are actually more relevant that I've seen in terms of how it relates back to if I had a mouth. But yeah, the reason why I just don't care, because it's like it's already wonderfully written, regardless of if it can progress to romantic. I think the fact that we're not probably gonna get that is better than us actually getting it, because our idealism of a perfect romantic relationship is all different across the board. We can agree who we want to be shipped, but then we have the subcategories of how we want them to be shipped. We got people who are very not safe for work, and then we have people who are more fluff and just like and you know, like nobody, like people's romance life ideas are different. So to keep that separate, it's probably better that we write a really good platonic relationship, because that's fine. That we can move anywhere from that. We can move from friends to enemies to friends to lovers, friends to partners of some sort. Like it's neutral. It's the most neutral we're gonna get, right? It's the most neutral we're gonna get, and it's all we're gonna get. And I'm fine with that. I actually prefer that. I prefer that. That makes it does so much more for the plot than it does romance would do, because that's not the point of the show. Again, which is why I said that, because the message is not the message is not necessarily like, oh, get married in the circus. Nah, it's get comfortable in the circus. Get comfortable. And that's it. Don't get busy. Get comfortable. Sit down. Like, y'all, like it that's why I feel like either way, whatever happens, happens. Which is why I think abstract I haven't said this out loud ever. Abstragedy, I think is what was I gonna say about that? I think that that's why them not necessarily saying out loud what they are at this point, and just showing that there is budding romance within the show's non-main characters, but characters nonetheless, that's safe. Pomni and Jax. There's a lot more. I want to talk so much more about this, but it's like, especially like with the character resonance stuff, and like how I've responded to it, and how I think based on my response, a lot of people tend to respond to characters. I want to talk about it because, oh my gosh, I want to talk about it, but I'm going to save it for another time, because I don't want to go over, because I already like went on a tangent, and I was just trying to tell you about like where I'm at right now, but it was relevant. It was relevant because I needed to tell you what my source of inspiration is right now. So it's Gooseworks, and it's the amazing voice actors, and it's basically everything. It's basically just everything and everyone. Like, everything and everyone actually has me in a chokehold. So yeah. But it's nice talking to you guys. It was nice talking to you guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace.